Before you went there, did you know that Whakaari had erupted in 2016?
No.
Did you know that Whakaari could erupt without warning?
No.
I want to ask you about the volcanic alert level, and in the interview at page 5, quite early on, you talked about knowing not beforehand but afterwards about the volcanic alert level. Is that correct?
Yeah, so by the time they mentioned anything about whatever level it was, we were well and truly set foot on the island, and that was like at the very end of what they call a safety briefing. So everybody was already grouped. We're already on the island, and is like basically ready to head in to that path from, getting off the jetty.
And the actual description of that volcanic alert level?
There was nothing. There was just, it's a level 2 today. It meant jack all to us, honestly, because they don't say if it's, 100, level 100 is the maximum or level 10 or is the maximum. They just said today's a level 2.
We know that you did the booking in June or July of 2019.
Yes.
And you talked about looking at the brochure and you described what it said from when you did the booking.
Yes.
Did you receive any other information about Whakaari between then and you going on the cruise?
No.
Did you receive any other information about Whakaari on the cruise and up to getting off the cruise to go on the bus?
No.
Did you receive any other information on the bus on the way to the boats, the White Island tour boats?
No.
Did you receive any information on the boat leading up to Whakaari?
No.
So the information you've described for us is the only information you got, which was that limited information on Whakaari.
Yeah, so it was only when we were all physically on the volcano that we were told it's a level 2.
You talked about the clothing that you wore.
Yes.
Quite a shout out for Nike, but just one other question there, is just to be clear about the information. Did you base what you were wearing that day on information you had, or what made you choose what to wear?
So we chose what to wear because, one, the weather, because it was hot. And two, basically how they've described it on the pamphlet is it's a casual walk, it's as long as you've got enclosed shoes and you're covered, that's all you really need. It wasn't like any of the other hiking trips I've ever taken to different volcanoes. Like those will tell you, you need to be in a fully, airtight boot with hiking or, loose cotton clothing. No, this one was just like, it's a casual walk and that's it. And you're just going to go for a stroll. It's an easy walk, and then you're going to come back, and then we're going to have, food and a cruise around the island kind of thing. And so, for us, we just thought, if it's an easy walk, then I'll just dress up as how I normally do if I go bushwalking, because that's the impression that we were given, basically, was that it was just a casual day out.
And I think you made the comparison to the tour to Hobbiton.
Yes, so it was basically the same degree of hardness, and it was basically described as, as easy as that. So if you were like us who looked into all the different tours that they offered as extracurricular activity on the boat, then you kind of can come to the conclusion that, if Hobbiton is the same degree of hardness and easy stroll as Whakaari, then you can kind of go, we can kind of wear the same things.
You've talked about the hard hat.
Yep.
Do you recall when you lost the hard hat?
Yes, so like pretty much as soon as that first wind gust hit us, like as I said in that video, like if you look at things slow motion, as I leaped to dive behind that rock, like mid-air, that first gust of wind would have hit me, and that's when that taken the whole hat off, basically. There was no chance in keeping that hat on you, regardless of whether you were strapped to the front or strapped to the back kind of thing.
I can ask a similar question about the mask. How did the mask go in the eruption, the gas mask?
So I was lucky to have my mask because, sorry, because we were instructed to put the straps over the helmet, but because I've taken it off after we went to the really stinky part near the crater, I had it hanging around my neck, and that was only pretty much the only saving grace that made me keep my mask on. And because I knew that, you know, if there was any chance of not breathing any of whatever's coming at us, I would have to keep my mask on. And it wasn't really around my head because it was around, the straps were around my neck. And I kind of just lifted the mask and held it towards my face as we were riding out the waves.
After the eruption, you described there was no plan. You didn't know what to do. Is that correct?
Yeah, there was no clear instructions or plan. Everybody just purely went on fight or flight instinct and ran directly for the jetty because, you know, like the only exit path really is the jetty. Like you have to choose between the crater or the jetty, and then anybody with some sort of logic will head towards the jetty.
Do I take it you had no information about how far the nearest hospital was from there?
Absolutely not. There was no instruction about what to do in an emergency, or if there's emergency shelter, or if there's an emergency kit somewhere hidden. It was just like you're totally on your own.